Hi, today we're going to go over the life cycle of a plant. Here we have a lesson for the life cycle of a plant for the smartboard activity. The next slide will give you a little bit of an insight on what this lesson targets. It does give you a bit of information of where I got this lesson plan from. For example, I got it off the Smartboard exchange site. It gives you a brief description of what this lesson is about. It demonstrates the life cycle of a plant to students with an informative but a fun activity. Students will learn a fun and creative approach to labeling the many parts of a plant with the help of a song, video, and lyrics. They will help Sparky the Alien on a few questions using the SmartBowl tools. And in the end, students will practice their writing skills with an easy writing assignment that can be conducted on the board, and a copy of the assignment will be handed out individually. This targets second grade and the science. The goal is for the students to understand the life cycle of a plant by identifying and labeling parts of a plant. The outcome is to complete 3 activities included in this lesson. It also gives you a brief insight on the level of technology integration, learning theories, relative advantages, and some of the modifications I did to this lesson myself. So let's go on to the lesson. Students and teachers will view this lesson right after their cover page. On here, it gives a brief example of what the plant cycle is. Teachers can read out the portion. Plants begin as a seed. They grow into a mature plant. Then the mature plant produces new seeds. So she can demonstrate the seed grows into a plant. At the top of the plant, there is seeds right here. That later on, when the plant, of course, dwindles down or dies, or when the wind blows it, of course, it produces seeds, which then become buried into the dirt, creating again the cycle of another mature plant. Go on to the following slides. Here the students will hear a brief description of what a seed is.
A seed is a little package. It has a baby plant in it. It has food for the little plant too. The seed gets water and sunshine. It starts to grow roots under the ground. The stem holds up the leaves and flowers. Now the seed has become a young plant.
Of course, the teacher does have the option of opting out of the audio, which you can just read it out to the students. The students will then, using the description of a seed, answer the following slide, which is the life cycle. I have already had some moved over, but we can drag those back. So we can move these, go back to the cursor. We can drag these back. And the teacher though has the option of having students just move them, drag them where they think the answers go. Of course, I would go with the option of having the students listen to the box so they can get a brief idea of what the which slide down here they would move up to the box. For example,
The seed is planted into the ground.
So as the person mentioned, it's a seed that's planted into the ground. So of course we move our little answer up. And then if we go on, we listen to the box.
Sprouts through the soil.
So we go ahead and put those according to answers once we listen to the box. Oops. And students will see once again the cycle of the seed growing into the mature plant. The next slide that we have here is one that I think teachers and students will enjoy. It is the song lyrics of the song Parts of a Flower, and it gives you what students can do, so you can have the students stand up and act the parts of the song out. You could either sing it yourself if you're bravely, or you can actually have your students listen to the song by pressing on this link here, which will take you to the YouTube video of this song. They can go on and listen to that itself. So once you're done, we can go to the next slide. And here is where you have students label your flowers out from the roots to the flower and so forth. You could have students, of course, with the cursor using the here we're just dragging on across the computer. If once you have it on the smartboard, students can use their pen to drag it across. In the following slide, they have a few questions to answer. These questions are listed: what is the seed like? What is in a seed? What does the seed need to grow? And so on and so forth. In this option, of course, I would have the students either use the pen option where they can circle it themselves, or I know that there is shapes where they can use that too as well. Either or, they can use the pen or the, I think most students usually like the pen option where they can use their own handwriting. Let's go back to the cursor and we'll go on to the next slide, where here students will follow this activity. I did do modifications where we do have to click on the flower. So let's click on this one, for example. It will give you, and in this option, the students will actually get correct when they get it correct. For example, let's drag this here. Or if, of course, they answer it wrong, it just drags it back to them, so they know whether or not they're placing the pictures in the correct place. Let's try another one. For example, the cycle of a dandelion. Excuse me. It also does it as well, where students are get immediate feedback. To where we drag this, correct. And as well as if they get it incorrect, it just drags it back to them. Of course, you can keep going on. There's several examples they have here to fill out. And lastly but not least, we have the handwriting portion. This I do suggest teachers printing out a separate for each student to have at their own desks. Of course, the teacher would select students to come up to the board to have them write it out, of course. They either have the pen option, once again, which I find it easier, where they write it out themselves. Oh, and I'm doing a bit of a mess here, so let me use the eraser, which you have the option to. Again, let's click on the pen, and students will write out of course you'll have difficulties while you are doing that as well. Students will tend to drag as well. So you have the handwriting portion, or you can do, as I said, the typing portion, which for students at that age, I'm not too sure if that's a great idea, but you have either or. So we have where you can handwrite it out or use the text portion. This concludes the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoy it, and maybe you could use it in the future while you, teaching second grade plant, cycles of a plant. Thank you.